Hello, and welcome to another episode of Coach and Coffee.
Howdy.
This mug here is pretty funny. I don't know if you can see it, but there's some funny looking characters on it. I don't even know what it says.
Funny.
Boreo?
I have no idea.
No idea. It says mug. Ask him.
I have no idea.
He's got a John Deere tractor
John Deere.
mug. We're going to talk the whole episode like this. So today we're going to talk about some of our worst mistakes that we've made during races. So errors, whatever, flaws, things we messed up. Do you have any you have off the top of your head?
Peak this past time that I went there, so I guess that was 2019. And it was just kind of more like not focusing, but also I had a glove on. So Greek Peak's cold. That's in the mountains in New York, upstate New York, on a ski slope.
Early March.
Yeah. So, and this year that I'm talking about, 2019, I think it was a lot of snow. Yeah, it was pretty deep snow. It was like
I wasn't there
maybe
for
a
that
foot
one.
deep, and parts of it like through the woods and stuff. Anyway, I got to the rings, not a multi-rig, just the rings, and I kind of just lost focus, but also I had one glove on, not two or none, and I thought that was gonna keep like one hand a little bit warmer and the other whatever. I don't know. Either way, it didn't work out. I can do the rings. I've done the rings a million times and at a ton of different races, but I slipped off and I was like, wow, that was so stupid, because here you are. This was like a quarter of the way into the race, and I just blew it without like, you know,
Did you
it was
slip
just something
because of
silly.
the glove? Was it the glove hand that slipped?
Yes, it was the glove
Excuse
hand
me.
that slipped, but it was also a lack of focus. Like, I didn't do two hands shuffling across. I tried to do like the big one arm swing.
Not playing
and
it safe that time.
Yeah, I should have played it safe, especially. Anyway, it was just cold fingers, and the glove didn't help, and I don't know. That was one mistake I thought of, because that haunted me the rest of the day.
I made one at a Savage race, which was kind of a rule violation mistake one time. So, yeah, I can't remember what year it was. It might have been 2016, but I do remember, and I was running the competitive wave, and they had just put in a new obstacle. Maybe it's called Polecat. It's the one where, and they don't have it at any of the races I go to anymore, like at Pennsylvania or Maryland, but they did that year, and they haven't since. It's like these vertical metal poles with some knobs on them and wooden posts with little cutout grooves where you put your feet in. And so I don't really remember what happened the rest of the race, but it was the last obstacle, and they do that a lot of times with new obstacles. They'll either make them like early on or at the end to kind of showcase them so everyone can see it before the race and everything right before the finish line. And so I was on that obstacle, and there were several people in front of me, so I wasn't in the top few for that race, and they were going really slow and barely going at all. So I was just like holding on to this post, and I was like, I can't just keep hanging here, I'm gonna fall, and I don't want to fall and get back because I'll have to be waiting in line behind more people. And so, not even thinking like, oh, maybe that's against the rules, instead of continuing down my line, I started to move over to the one next to me where there was a hole, and it didn't cross my mind at the time that that's not legal. You can't just switch lanes, and you can't do that I've never seen anyone do that on another obstacle, and they pretty much say stay in your lane. So everyone should know that. I just didn't cross the line, so I switched over, and then someone behind me was like, hey man, you can't do that. And for a second I was mad, like, what do you mean I can't do that? And then I was like, yeah, I totally can't do that. What am I doing? I just completely mentally lapsed. So I dropped down and got in line to do the obstacle over again. But for a minute there, yeah, I mean, I wasn't thinking. But, you know, I made up for it by going back and getting in line and losing a lot of places and doing it properly. But mental lapse, I was just like, well, this is a faster way through.
Hey, that happens sometimes.
Yeah.
Look at Ryan Woods. He grabbed the truss.
Yep.
That was a big
You're not
deal.
thinking, you're just going. And
Yeah, especially if you're neck to neck, which I think he was right next to Ryan Atkins at the time. So all you're thinking about is how to get across that
especially
finish line
for a
as
top
fast as
position.
possible. Yeah.
But yeah, in my case, I realized, yeah, I can't do that, so I redid it. In his case, he had to accept the punishment.
Yeah,
Even if you make a mistake, and I did a video on this previously, it's your fault if you make the mistake, so just own it, take the penalty. It's your own stupid mental lapse, it happens. But as long as you take the proper penalty, whatever. As long as you don't try and like keep cheating.
Yeah.
Any other ones?
I thought of a good one. So this was back probably 2015 or 2016. We have another brother, his name is Steven, and we were doing a beast maybe, I don't know, but either way, the race started at the bottom of a hill. And
No, it was the Super. It was the New Jersey Super. They did
Okay.
a Super that year.
Okay.
If you're talking about what I think.
Yeah, this was a very steep hill, and so we were in open heat, but we're still competitive. So what we did, as soon as they said Aru, let's go, we ran as fast
All
as we
three
could,
of us.
sprinted our hearts out to the top of the hill. This is before any OCR specific training. I wasn't a runner. Joel's not a runner. Steven's not a runner. We all just kind of weightlifted. So we got to the top of the hill. Me personally, I saw stars. I was nauseous. I could not breathe. I was like, we are like less than 1/10 of a mile into this.
You know what? In our
8-mile
defense,
race.
it might have been 1/10 of the mile up the hill.
It was terrible. So we looked like a bunch of fools. We ran out there like somebody was chasing us, and then we stopped. We had to stop. All three of us at the top of the hill, and everybody's just going by like, okay.
You know, someone was chasing us. It was each other. I don't remember who
Yeah.
made it up to the top of the hill first. It was either me or Steven.
Okay. I don't
think.
remember.
I think it was me. It might have been Steven. I'm honestly not sure, but
I just remember being like, wow, that was a terrible
if
idea.
you've done the Vernon, New Jersey race, it's
Yeah, that's
they
already a
started
tough
out
course.
every time on all the years I've been there, which I think was 3 different years, very steep starting out. And yeah, we're just, even in shape that we're in now, if we sprinted up that at the start, we'd be
Oh,
gassed.
yeah, that's gonna spike
you
your
can't
heart rate
sprint up at like a 30% incline like that. Yeah, we all made that mistake. And yeah, we were dead for the rest of the race pretty much.
Yeah, that was rough. You learn from it though, right?
That's back when you think, this first part of the race, whoever makes it to the hill first wins, and then you realize, no, we got like 7 or 8 more miles,
Now
and
it's
that's
just
where
about
you really,
completing.
yeah.
Competing.
But I guess there was like, whoever makes it up first is the tough guy, the best guy.
Yep. A classic one, which I know many people have made the mistake of, is stepping on the string for the spear.
Oh.
I know I did that once, and that's a heartbreaker, It only happens when you have it perfectly lined up, too. You're like, okay, I'm in a good place. I think I was in the top 10 when it happened to me in a sprint, so if you miss the spear during a sprint, you're pretty screwed. And it was lined up, I felt good about it, which is rare for the spear, and nope, didn't go anywhere. So that sucks. Always check
The spear
to see
starts,
where
and it's going, and then all of a sudden it's just like, blah.
yeah,
Why did
you
it
just
stop?
feel like, can I try that again? Please? Like, I know I can do better, but you can't. Not till next time. Or unless you run open or something.
I think I've only had that happen to me one time, and it was the worst. I think it was at Fayetteville, and I was in a good position, and I lined the spear up. I'd actually practiced the spear before the race. The people said I could. I asked, they said yes, give it a few tries. So I was like, cool, well, they said I could. I'm not breaking any rules. It was before any races had started. And so in the race, I threw all the line on the other side of the fence, because I know you don't want it hooked on anything behind you. And apparently, I didn't think this was possible. I stepped under my toes were under the fence, and I stepped on it. It was on the other side of the fence, and it caught at the very end and just dropped before it hit the target. Who thinks they're going to step on it on the other side of the fence? But that's what I did. And then apparently at that race, you think you do 30 burpees, counting them out, but they penalized me for doing like 29, so I think I got a 30-second penalty.
Yeah, they don't mess around with the penalties.
So I made double mistakes. But normally when you make a mistake, it leads to more mistakes, because you start freaking out. You're like, oh my gosh!
Yeah,
and you got to make up for time
and get careless. And
get careless.
Forget how to count. So, yeah.
I'm trying to think of any other ones. I just know early on in OCR racing, I would start out too fast at races, faster than I could maintain, and so you just burn out your whole system.
I thought of a good one.
Oh, go.
Okay.
Because that's just like, that happened a few times early on in racing.
Oh yeah, but that just comes with experience,
Yeah.
learning how to. That's what it is, right? You're just.
That's why we're here teaching you from our experience.
Yeah, I've done over 50 different races.
I think I'm in the high 40s.
And you
almost
just
50.
learn as you go how to be more efficient with the obstacles, what mistakes to avoid, like putting the rope over the fence, and just little things like that that make a world of difference. But I thought of a good one. So this was our very first year being competitive. So I think it was 2018.
17.
Okay.
17.
And this was in New York at a terrain race, and we were both trying to qualify for the pro heats of the OCR World Championship.
Oh yeah! Oh, this is a great one.
2017,
Yeah,
right?
that's right. Yeah.
Anyway, so I was in third place. Joel was in fourth. Okay, you have to get in top three of the top three at terrain race to qualify, and it's the very last obstacle. It's monkey bars that go over water. Okay, no big deal, whatever. But we are neck and neck. I was ahead. Okay.
He was ahead.
And we get to this last obstacle, but neither of us are thinking, so we just jump into
We'd never done a terrain race before.
Yeah, this was our first terrain race.
Never seen the obstacle.
This is kind of...
Which is why you do your homework on obstacles.
This was kind of obvious, so
it was very obvious.
So yeah, you have the monkey bars, but under that is just a big pool of water in case you fall.
It's like 20 to 30 feet long.
What we did was jump into the pool of water, swim across it as fast as we could, jump out. So I crossed the finish line, got third, and I was like, yes, I just qualified. You know, I beat him. I get on my very first podium in a competitive heat, I think it was.
Yeah.
And then the guy's like, no, you have to go back. I was like, what? And we
we're both like, what are you talking about? We have to go back.
We completely didn't even notice that there were monkey bars over it. So anyway.
I swear, I don't remember seeing them. I just thought it was like a part of the structure that the beams
I thought it was
went
like
up.
an A-frame.
And I actually thought it was cool that you had to like swim. It was, you know, you could wade through it, but maybe swimming, I don't know.
It was like chest
He was
deep.
faster at getting through it than me because he beat me. But yeah, we have pictures from the race of us hopping out of the water, which you're not supposed to have.
Yeah, that was just a brain fart because we were both trying to hit the podium and qualify for the OCR World Championship, and I was just not paying attention. So anyway, came back because I crossed the finish line first. I was further back.
He went further down the finish gate than I did.
Yeah, so we ended up going back around, and Joel beat me, which whatever. I ended up placing third at a different terrain race, so we both did qualify that year, which is cool, and got our podiums. But that was just like on the drive home, you know, everybody, I think most people know what the walk of shame is, you know, after that's what it is. You make a stupid mistake at a race and you're driving home like 8 hours and you're just like, wow, like that was so dumb.
Dumb mistake.
But it's a learning experience, right?
Very
That's
true.
how you take it.
Trying to think of any others that stick out.
Well, I remember at this was also early on, this was probably before a beast or something. We simply didn't prepare. We didn't get to the race in time, so it was very last second. So I remember being in a porta potty, you know, making sure I didn't have anything left in my system before this race, so there was no issue there.
You all know what we're talking about.
Oh yeah, the race poos.
It's a real thing.
Yeah, because you get your nerves are going, the adrenaline's going, and your body's like,
Yeah, and even if you don't really need to go, you're trying to get it out in case there's anything in it.
So I'm sitting there like, la 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 la, you know, and then all of a sudden we hear the guy on the microphone like, are you ready? And we're like, what?
That happened to us at Maryland Savage Race one time. We got there late, and so I'm in the porta potty when they start like hyping everyone up, and I got to the line like 10 seconds before it started. That happened to us at Wintergreen.
That's what I'm talking about. It's Wintergreen. That was a super.
See, this is a dumb mistake. Know where the race is. So we stayed. I live right next to Wintergreen now, so it seems even dumber. But we stayed in a cabin of someone that our brother knew.
A friend, yeah.
That was like a tenth of a mile from the start line. But the morning of the race, we drove all the way down the mountain and took the bus all the way back up the mountain.
Yeah.
So we got there right before it started. No time to warm up. We hopped in the line. I was tying my shoe as the racer started running.
We started after everybody
We could have walked down to the start line in 5 minutes and had forever to warm up and chill.
Yeah.
But we
I mean,
drove
they
down the stupid mountain.
They didn't say where the venue was. They only said where the parking was, because at Wintergreen you had to take a bus or whatever. So, I mean,
it was just a dumb mistake.
Yeah.
That was before a race, but still, it counts. Because that was a really dumb mistake. And we had to drive back up we had to take the bus back down the mountain to get the car after the race and drive back up to get our stuff. And
yeah, that sucked.
Yeah, it was stupid.
Yep.
Trying to think of any other ones.
I'm
trying to think of any recently. The important thing as you race, you'll make mistakes no matter how many videos, that you watch. You'll still make mistakes. You're going to become absent-minded randomly during a race. You'll be really tired and you make mistakes when you're tired. So experience is going to be a big thing, but one of the things that sets apart the people who finish near the top and the people who don't is not making mistakes. If you can be consistent with obstacles and your pacing, you're going to finish near the top, whereas someone who may be way faster than you makes mistakes and you still beat them every time no matter what, because they keep making mistakes. And I know that's true for my racing. I beat a lot of people who are way fast, like a minute per mile faster than me, because they make consistent mistakes and I learn from my mistakes. So over time you're going to learn from your mistakes and you're going to finish faster because of it. Even if you didn't train better, just racing smarter and completing the obstacles and not making boneheaded mistakes.
That's what it comes down to, is just being focused enough, not letting the competition blind you, and running next to somebody, like, don't worry about what they're doing, because if you're neck and neck with somebody, you're going to try and do something faster when maybe you should just do things right.
Yep. You never know when someone else is pushing their pace way past what they can actually handle, and that's happened to me a few races, and I learned to just keep running myself. And that's one of the boneheaded mistakes during a race, was at Savage Race, because especially Maryland, which we've run like 5 times. No, I think I've run it 7 times, but 5 separate years.
Yeah.
Awesome venue, great race. You start out so fast because it's a flat start, and almost the whole race is flat. There's little elevation. But so everyone goes out really fast, really hard, and you're like, I gotta keep up. I want to keep up, so you go really fast and hard, and then you realize, wait a minute, if I just stay at a consistent pace, I'm going to be passing 95% of these people in 5 minutes, because they can't handle it.
Yep.
They can't handle that pace. So, that's a mistake. That was the last time I made that mistake, going out too fast, too hard. Was Savage Race, burned out after about 1.5 miles, 2 miles, and ended up getting like 20th, dropped from like the top 7 or so to 20th place, and I was like, never again. I'm just gonna run a consistent pace, and now I podium 3 out of 4 times, and the time I don't podium, I get 4th.
Not too bad.
Learn from your mistakes.
Yeah, biggest thing I've learned is staying focused and not trying to rush through anything, because something like the Z wall,
Oh man!
Most Spartan obstacles, like, because I have a good strength lifting background, I've had the strength for. But usually it's when I just lose focus. On the Z wall, you're just like, oh, I gotta get through this. You see other people going a little bit faster than you, and then you slip off. It has nothing really to do with strength, at least not for me. But there's 30 burpees right there. You just set yourself back. 2 minutes or whatever, plus whatever energy you lost that you can't put forth throughout the race now. It's just slowing down a little bit.
Last one. The Ultra in November in Mill Spring, North Carolina. Miserable race the second half. Awesome race the first half before the whole course got muddy and freezing. So it's a 31-mile race doing the Ultra, like 60 obstacles. It was obstacle like 5 or 6 maybe, like 3 miles into the race was the Z-Wall. And this is early in the morning, it's still dark out, and everyone's got their headlamps, and I'm in like 6th or 7th place maybe, I'm not sure. And I was already like trying to play mind games with other people, like, oh, I'm gonna stay ahead of this person, and you know, as long as everything's feeling good. And so on the Z wall, I was like, well, I'm gonna finish it before this person. And instead of just getting through the stupid Z wall, like 3 miles into a 30-mile race, I started rushing it, and right before I hit the bell, I just slipped right off. And I was like, what was the point of that? I could have lost 5 more seconds doing the obstacle and hitting the bell and completing it. Instead, I ended up losing like a minute and a half rushing through 30 burpees. Terrible mistake. It cost me a lot of energy in that race too. That early on, I was just like, dang it. Played mind games and lost.
Oh well.
Yeah. That was plenty of mistakes. We got some good advice here, so learn from the advice and have better races.
That's right.
That's it for now, and we'll catch you next time on Coach and Coffee.
Thank you for watching.